And joining me with more now on the COVID-19 situation here in Israel is Steve Walz from the Sheba Medical Center in Tel Aviv. Steve, great to have you with us. Now, hospitals have been told to reopen their coronavirus wards, and Sheba was in fact the first to open when the outbreak began. Briefly tell us why.
We were the first chosen to open because we are technically the largest hospital, or factually we are the largest hospital in Israel with the largest facilities, and also our CEO happened to have been the Surgeon General of the Army before taking on this position. So he basically is the kind of person who never shies away from a mission impossible.
And now you have reopened one of the coronavirus wards now. Despite what we're hearing in terms of the high numbers of infections, what kind of numbers are you seeing in the hospital?
Well, obviously they're going up slowly again. Hopefully they won't spike the way they did in March and April. We now are up to 20 corona patients, and 4 of them happen to be in critical condition. The big change, though, is that I believe that between now and next week, if we don't see what they call flattening the curve, all hospitals are going to have to go back into emergency mode, something that we really don't want to do. But the other difference is that we're now accepting mostly the moderately to seriously ill patients and leaving the lightly, those who are sick with light symptoms from corona, leaving them at home to be treated from home.
Mm-hmm. And you're also working on an underground facility when you're talking about looking to the future. Tell us more about that.
Well, originally we had an underground facility that we had shut a week ago that held up to about 50 critically ill corona patients. We realized that during the winter we may have a double whammy of flu and COVID-19, so we took a different car park underground and we converted it into a massive corona facility that could hold up to 350 critically ill patients. Hopefully we won't have to use them, but right now I'm not very optimistic. I have a feeling that it's going to be hopefully not at full capacity, but used a lot.
Right, because we're just moving into summer now, so you expect that we will still be dealing with this in the winter?
We will be dealing with a double whammy, as I mentioned, between the flu virus and the coronavirus, which mimic the same symptoms. And our doctors here have told me that it's impossible to differentiate between the two without proper testing. And even those who will be diagnosed with the flu will actually also have to be put in some sort of quarantine for at least a few days, because we don't want either the people who have the flu or people who have COVID-19 running around the country as we're experiencing now. And you can see the results as a result of all of the confusion that's out there.
All right, and we also were hearing from people saying, oh, we're only seeing higher infection rates because we're seeing more testing, and everyone's trying to make sense of the numbers. What do you say to the people that are saying this whole thing is a hoax?
It's not only a hoax, it's quite dangerous. Look, I sit on a perch here inside a hospital where I can see doctors' faces very frustrated sometimes, literally throwing their hands up on occasion, because this is a very dangerous disease. It destroys the lungs, and we're reading more and more about now people who have symptoms that hang on for months at a time. It's true. There's no fake news here. This is a very dangerous disease, and people who don't take it seriously, God forbid that they're the ones who should be infected with it. They shouldn't know from it, as they say, because it really is a dangerous disease.
Absolutely, and let's hope that everybody does stay healthy and we do start to see numbers diminish. Steve, thank you so much for that insight.
Thank you, Tracy.